Welcome back to Bedtime Stories with Eli, and the topic of today's bedtime story is I dislike the new dating term of the talking stage. One more time. I dislike the new term of the talking stage. What does that mean? Excuse me. Allergies. Let's get to today's Reddit posting here and read what the original poster states from the subreddit dating. And the title is, I hate the new dating terminology of talking and talking stage. One more time. I hate the new dating terminology of talking and talking stage. Well, let's see what they mean. This is regarding Tinder, online dating. I'm not even on the older side. I'm under 30. Okay, that says a lot. But I wasn't in the dating game for most of my 20s because I was in a relationship. Okay, so you lack a lot of experience. And now you're single after a while. And you've entered the crazy abyss of the modern crazy online dating world through dating apps, on smartphones, dating sites, etc. I mean, I'd show you my smartphone, but I'm actually using my iPhone 12 Pro Max to record this. But I think you get the deal, right? Oh man. Now that I'm out here navigating dating as an adult, it seems like the terminology and stages I'm used to have completely shifted. Oh man, it's a whole new ball game. Welcome to the abyss of the modern dating world. Excuse me. I spent months talking, and the talking stage meant those few days or sometimes a week or two of chatting via text before the first meet, so I was so confused why people on social media were so upset about things ending during that stage. Man, I used to do that in my younger days, and I constantly create videos to try to tell people nowadays that are meeting in the online dating world, do not waste too much time on one person. If you click with someone, you start communicating through a dating site or a dating app, okay, send a few messages back and forth, okay, then, either give the guy your number or ask the guy for his number and try to take it to the phone right away, that same day preferably, or the next day at the latest, right? You got to keep it moving forward, because if you don't keep it moving forward, it's going to die off. There are too many other options, right? Take to the phone, have one 30 to 60 minute phone conversation. If you gel on that phone conversation, then you meet in person the next day or by that next weekend. If you're working during the week, both of you are working during the week, then meet during the weekend, right? And meet for a brief meeting to see if that large rush or spark of sexual attraction is there within the first 3 seconds. If it is, then boom, you got chemistry. Then hang out a little longer and then set up a real date for the next day or the next week or whenever, right? But if you sit there and you talk with somebody, now you call it the talking stage. If you're talking with somebody for weeks, on the phone every single night for hours at a time, or you text for hours each day for weeks and months, and then you finally meet, there's no chemistry there, you feel like you wasted your time. Attraction is a must and not a choice. And you're not going to know if there's attraction until you meet in person. You both will know within the first 3 seconds. But you should have a good idea of, who, the both of you are before you meet. That's why I suggest a 30 to 60 minute phone conversation so you can hear each other's tones of voices and hear each other's personalities and talk a little bit about what you both like and don't like. That is that. Let's see here. I just figured out people refer to dating as talking now. Well, the people that are just talking and doing the phone sex thing and all that, that's not real. Those are people that are insecure, man. If you want something real and genuine, you got to push it forward towards making it real and genuine. That means you don't text all day or talk on the phone all day for weeks and months at a time before you decide to meet someone. You're either going to meet someone right away or you're not going to meet them at all. Like, why waste your time talking with someone that you don't even know? Right? Even if you have a good idea of what they're going to be like, you're not going to know until you meet them, right? Even if you see pictures of each other, you're still not going to know if that physical attraction and mental and emotional and spiritual attraction will be there in person. Why delay it? Man, it sounds like you're loving the talking, and talking stage, like you call it, because it's validating you. It's making you feel, I think what's happening, ma'am, is you're getting sucked into this vortex of getting all this attention, and you're having a hard time deciding who to choose, right? And you've been actually finally picking guys to meet, but you're picking the wrong guys because you're probably picking the more attractive guys instead of the guys that are slightly less attractive. That would be a better fit for you. You're picking the more attractive guys, and they end up being jerks or players, or they use you for a one night stand, and that's what's happening, man. But let's continue here. Let's see what you say here. Like when they say talking stage, they mean someone they are going on dates with, but they just haven't had the exclusivity relationship discussion yet. Right. Like I said, man, hooking up, banging, one night stands. If you're going after the Chads and Tyrones because they're good looking, right? And you're giving those guys a chance and it's not panning out, that's going to frustrate you. Why don't you give the guys a chance that are slightly less attractive, but you have more in common with and are a little bit, of a more decent person that's willing to, have a relationship and move things forward. I think you're caught up with the Chads. That's the problem here. You didn't experience the Chads in your 20s to get through it. Well, you said you're under 30, but you're probably close to 30. You said, I wasn't in the dating game for most of my 20s. So you're under 30. What are you, 29, ma'am? About to turn 30? Is that biological clock going tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock? Whew. Let's see. I hate this because I feel like calling dating talking is underplaying how serious and emotional dating can be. Dating's supposed to be fun and playful and exciting. Ma'am, you're making it like a college course, ma'am. Like you're overthinking it. Dating's supposed to be fun and playful and exciting. It's about bonding and connecting with someone. It's not about overly analyzing every little damn thing. That's what you're doing, ma'am. You're probably introverted. It definitely seems like some fuckboy came up with this terminology so that when he ghosted a girl he was dating, he would underplay how serious it actually was by saying, "No, we were just talking." Ma'am, you just showed me your cards. You're triggered because some fuckboy used you for a one-night stand and kicked you to the curb because you gave him the chance. This proves it. You gave the Chad that you call the F-boy, right? You gave the Chad a chance over some guy slightly less attractive that would have been a better fit for you, right? And would have gone with you long term because the Chad was more attractive, right? And the Chad played you, got you in the sack, used you for sex, and then never called you again. And now you're triggered, ma'am. Ma'am, it's your choice and it's your fault. Ma'am, you have become a Chad chaser, even in your late 20s. Maybe you'll learn here. Chad chaser. So that when he goes to the girl he was dating, he would underplay how serious it actually was by saying, "No, we were just talking." That's what the Chad will do. The Chad will never commit. The Chad will say, "You know what? I'm just looking to see where things go," right? That doesn't mean he's not open to a relationship, but it also doesn't mean he is open to one, right? So when a guy says, just looking to hang out and have fun, see where it goes. I'm open to whatever, right? Doesn't mean anything. You should know that, man. If you want a guy to take you serious for a relationship, you need to ask, what are you seeking? Are you more relationship minded or are you more, casual minded, casual dating minded? You got to ask that, man, but you're not. You got enamored by the looks of the Chad, ma'am, and the Chad got you. The Chad got you, ma'am, and now you're triggered. Chad chasers. God dang Chad chasers, man. Jesus Christ. Let me see here. Where are we? In my opinion, even if you aren't exclusive with someone or in some kind of defined relationship you've discussed, but are going on dates, being intimate in any way, and talking regularly, you are dating that person. That's not necessarily true, ma'am. You are not dating that person unless you both have talked about it and you said you are dating, right? Okay? Well, the bottom line is, if you see somebody, more than once, you're going on dates with them. It doesn't mean you're in an exclusive relationship. It means that you're going on dates. Maybe you can call that dating if you want, but it's nothing exclusive, right? But if you want to call it dating, ma'am, you're not exclusive until you both make it exclusive. That means technically, if someone you're dating wants to date someone else, they technically can during that time. But typically, most decent people wouldn't do that. Because for me, like if I really am into a woman, like the woman I'm into, I'm seeing now, right? My energy goes to her, right? I'm a one-woman man. I will not even meet a woman for a second date if I don't feel it's going to go somewhere it's not worthy of my time. But I do such a good job of screening out and vetting my prospects to the point of where if it goes to a second date, I already know I want it to go somewhere. I'm just going to, take it slow. I'm just going to, go with the flow. And always as the man, let the woman bring up the relationship first. I'm just going to, set up dates with her when she reaches out to me, and we're gonna hang out, have fun, and hook up in the meantime. And then when she's ready to make the commitment, if she is, she'll bring it up to me. And my woman's been all over that because she's into me, because I respect her and I respect myself, and I allow her to come to me. And I was open and honest with her with what I wanted initially, and she was open and honest with me. We didn't have to play any games. And here's the thing. Like, in my entire life, I've never, ever, ever, ever given a woman a chance just because she's hot. I've had many hot women approach me in the past, right? I've encountered them in the past, and I didn't give them the time of day. Not because they were hot, but it was because their attitude was shitty, right? And they knew they were hot and they were all that. And when I didn't give them the time of day, they would get mad at me and say, am I not hot enough for you? Oh, you're hot as hell. You're super hot. Then why don't you want to be with me? Because your attitude sucks. Right? And then they're like, oh, shut the hell up. I can get any guy I want. Well, sure you can. But you're going to drive those guys crazy, and they're not going to be the guys you really want. Right? The guys you want are guys like me, and we're never going to give you the time of day with a shit attitude like that, right? That's the bottom line. It's the bottom line. All right, let's read a few comments here before we wrap this baby up. Let me see here. Let's see. I'm Reddit old and not afraid to say I hate it too. Talking seems like they're describing a couple of people who are in negotiation to start dating. When you say Reddit old, what are you, like in your 30s or 40s? At 47, almost 48, I must be a Reddit senior citizen. Gosh, Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, you've got to do a little talking the first, second day that you connect with somebody, but then you got to take it to in person. And communication is still important, but the most important thing before you invest too much time in talking beyond the first day, okay, or two, you got to see if that large rush or spark of sexual attraction is there. So you got to talk enough in the beginning to build some rapport, some comfortability, some trust, right? Talk on the phone, feel each other out, meet in person, see if the chemistry's there, and then go from there. And if the chemistry's there and you see each other again, then talking and communicating constantly is important. So it is going to end up being important, right? What I think is happening here is that this woman is upset that she's wasted so much time talking with guys she thought were going to go somewhere. And then she meets these guys. They end up being Chads, right? Chads and Tyrones. And basically these Chads manipulated her into a one-night stand. They use her for sex, then they kick her to the curb, and now she's irritated. Now she's saying, oh, the talking culture and, blah, 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 She's upset because she spent so much time talking with guys that used her for a one-night stand and manipulated her into a one-night stand. She's just angry and bitter about it, but she'll figure it out. For some reason, I just pictured a date where someone writes a figure on a piece of paper and slides it across the table to the other person. All right, I don't know what you meant by that, but that's not really helpful to this. I'm sorry. Let's continue. That's like basically what dating is now, though. Least how it seems to me. Responding to the original poster. Well, it is that way if you let it be that way. There are people that are very insecure and shy and timid that just love texting back and forth through dating apps. It's like a safe and comfortable way because they fear rejection. Listen, guys and gals, there's nothing better than meeting with someone in person and bonding and connecting and hugging them and holding them and kissing them and being intimate with them and going on dates with them, going hiking with them, having great conversations, right? Taking nice drives with them, having a bonfire on the beach with them, etc. There's nothing better than that. But many of you are being raised differently in this modern world. The millennials, the Gen Y millennials and the Gen Z, the post-millennials, the I generation. You folks, most of you come from broken households or didn't get enough strokes as a little kid, and you're struggling to understand the way that people should be bonding and connecting like they always have. So you've turned it into a culture nowadays, especially with these smartphones, into a talking culture than a hanging out in person culture because of insecurities, right? Insecurities, being shy, fearing rejection. And guys, you guys should be stronger and not fear rejection, because 9 out of 10 women you approach are going to reject you right off the bat. Even if you're the hottest guy in the world, they're going to reject you. Let me tell you, you're going to get 1 out of 10. And that 1 out of 10 could be a diamond in the rough, right? Let's see here. Sounds more like setting up a D&D, Dungeons and Dragons gaming session than a date. Yeah, that's pretty pathetic, but I have to agree with that. No, Tuesday's no good. How about never? Does never work for you? Stolen from a New Yorker cartoon. All right, man, that's cool. That's cool. If only dude just handed me a contract with clear requirements, because I'm over here trying to guess what you like, what you like, and about to get dumped if I mess one thing up. I have no idea is an issue for you. Well, ma'am, that commented with this is why you're supposed to properly vet people and ask questions, but get to the point quick. You connect on a dating site or dating app, send a few messages. If you click, you like each other's pictures, then you talk by phone for 30, 60 minutes, hear each other's voices, hear how you communicate, right? Tones of voices, etc., right? Attitude. If that feels right, the guy should set up a date to meet later that night or the next night and see if there's chemistry there. And if there's chemistry there, okay, then you move on. But you ask on that phone call, what do you like to do for fun? What don't you like to do? Don't be afraid to ask people what they like and don't like. And don't be afraid to tell them what you like and don't like. I mean, you folks aren't doing that. You're coming out here on Reddit and basically doing and asking questions you should be asking to these guys and gals you're getting to know through the dating world. You do it here on Reddit and on the internet, but you don't do it with the person you should be doing it with to properly vet and qualify them. Couple more here. We're going to wrap this baby up. Right, dating is like a double blind test that there's no way to study for it. Even when you're in a relationship, people start revealing fine print that they hid on page 305 of the contract. Listen, there are always going to be things that everyone is probably going to maybe at least try to keep from you initially, not because they're trying to hide it, because it's something they're not proud of. And, maybe they don't want to share that with just anyone, only someone that is worthy, right? But there are also some other, signs you need to look for to see if someone's in the right emotional headspace, is in the right mental headspace, is financially stable. There are other things that you can find out as quickly as possible by, asking some direct questions. Like, what do you do for a living? Do you like your job? Women, you should be asking guys about their job, not because of how you don't want to find out how much money they make, or you don't want to make it about money, but you want to say, yeah, I'm just curious to know what you do for a living, because, I want to be supportive of, a man's purpose that I'm with. I'm just curious to know what your purpose is. What do you enjoy doing? What is your job about, right? Let's see here. Right, dating's like a double-blind test that there's no way to study for. And even when you're in a relationship, people start revealing fine print that they hit on page 305 of the contract. Read that. Okay. Or your own life does. Like 10 years down the line, you're like, oh crap, I did not expect this random life event or health issue we now have to figure out together. Sometimes health issues come up. Sometimes there are things that are unexpected that neither side knew about before you got together. You can't hold that against someone, right? Okay? Of course, when you first meet someone, you're going to try to find someone that has the least amount of issues. We're all going to do that, but nobody's perfect, right? Nobody's perfect. And it's, if you've been with somebody for 5 or 10 years and some medical issue happens at that point, I mean, honestly, if you leave them over that, then you're a real selfish person. Then you don't have a good heart and soul. And by that point, you're going to be emotionally attached. So, and that's important. That's important, Let's see here. Love this analogy. Made me giggle. It's so true. Okay. Same. The unknown contract is the hardest part. You know what? Life is all about taking chances. If you don't take chances, you're never going to get anywhere. Many of you guys and gals, but more so you ladies nowadays, are very guarded because you've been through a lot, right? You've been through one too many Chads and Tyrones that have played you, right? Right? Instead of giving guys slightly less attractive with slightly less everything, but are still good enough, right? The chance, right? So you ladies get jaded and guarded, right? And so, you got to take chances. And if something doesn't pan out, you can't sit there and go into, your next relationship, or you can't put yourself back out on the dating scene all jaded, because let me tell you, most of the guys that you want to attract, the stronger alpha males like myself, are going to pick up on the fact that you're jaded and you're not over your ex, and we're going to eliminate you by asking you a few questions, right? Or some guys will just manipulate you and tell you what you want to hear to have a one-nighter with you, and then guess what? You're right back to where you were, getting, used for sex by the Chads and Tyrones. So it's better to just, let the past go, put your guard down, and move forward. I've got some other videos that I'm going to be doing during the daytime that are going to be talking about these types of topics in more detail. So make sure you subscribe to this channel, bang the bell, select the notifications. I'll remind you folks here in a second at the end if you want to get more of those videos. One more here, and then we're definitely wrapping this up. Some longer videos this time around, this week. Let me see. I'm not sure what Reddit old is, but I was teenaged in the 90s. Wow. I was teenaged in the 80s. Back then it was called Talking To, so you must be in your 40s. Late 30s, early 40s. We didn't really have better terminology. We didn't have the term fuckboy or ghosting, but I remember in the middle and high school people would well, that's because we didn't have these dating apps nowadays to ghost, right? Or texting wasn't really that big yet. It was just starting to happen in the 90s. So these are the expressions in middle and high school. Hey, I heard you and Ted were talking. Yeah, we were talking, but now we're talking. Talking, question mark? Damn, talking was established that you like each other. Well, that's because we had to talk back then. We didn't have smartphones, and texting was pretty new. And we had cell phones, but you had to call people, right? Let me see. Where did I go here? Talking meant that you decided you like each other enough to consider dating. Maybe it's just my experience with the etymology of the world. What the hell, these words? In this context, but I'm not offended by its usage. I think online dating is just annoying in general, though. People don't act right in the online world. Most people don't. Doesn't mean that all people are like that, because let me tell you something. My last 4 relationships have been from online dating, and they've been from one site, Match.com. That's the best one, in my opinion, if you're looking for something real. Forget about Tinder. Forget about Bumble or Hinge. I mean, sometimes Bumble and Hinge can work well at times. Just depends. But you want to find quality, let me tell you, my last 4 relationships in my 40s, okay? My last 4 relationships have been from Match.com. Women that go on Match.com are more serious about finding somebody, and so are men. I'm not going to say 100% of people. There's still some fakes and flakes out there, but there are far fewer than Tinder and Bumble, the swipe left, swipe right sites, and Hinge as well, which is a X and check site, right? Okay, you hit the X or the check if you like or not like the person, right? Or you heart them or something like that. It's been a while since I've been on them because I've been seeing someone for a while now. But yeah, Match.com is the best place to go. Let me just read one more here because this is important. This is really, really important. I just saw this. I consider Reddit old to be Gen X and up. Oh, so I'm old. I'm Gen X. Okay. Yeah, I've heard some millennials call me, oh yeah, shut up Gen X. Oh yeah, okay. So you millennials are criticizing us Gen Xers for being real men, and we're criticizing you guys for acting like little girls. You guys acting like little girls. That's the thing, right? Right? Because you guys didn't get enough strokes as little kids. You were spoiled and entitled, most of you. Not all of you, but most of you, right? But that's beside the point. Maybe talking is a regional thing then. I was a teenager in the 90s too, and we all just said hanging out. Like, hey, Mike, haven't you been hanging out with Jen for a few weeks now? Hanging out could mean friendship too, but at least it's kind of in the same ballpark as dating, where talking sounds cold and intentionally vague. I personally haven't heard it used in the dating sense up until about 10 years ago. Yeah, this is the first time I've heard of it, and I understand the point of it. And this whole concept has been happening for 2 or 3 decades now, because online dating was already out 25 years ago or so, right? 25, 30 years ago when the internet came out. You just had to go on a laptop or desktop to access it. Now, it's on your damn smartphone, right? So it's too convenient now, right? We have way more options, and more people are constantly talking with many people, right? Talking with many people. There you go, right? And they find 1 or 2 people that they get enamored by, and instead of meeting them in person or talking on the phone and then meeting in person to see if it clicks, they just text through the app for weeks and months. Who's to blame for that? Take action if you want to make something happen in real life. Okay, one more from the original poster, then I'm definitely wrapping this up. I've had many long videos this week. I think it must be a regional thing that spread, because last time I was out there, you would just call it dating, but add qualifiers like it's not official yet or casually to give people more context. Well, here's the thing. If you're a guy, okay, you never bring up the relationship. Your job as a man is to take the woman out on a date, hang out, have fun, and hook up. The woman reaches out to you. If you go on a first date and you both have a good time, The woman will reach out to you within a day or two later, or maybe sooner than that, and she'll say, "Hey, had a good time. How are you doing? Oh, great. Hey, girl, it's great to hear from you. Would love to see you again. When are you free to get together?" Right? And then you set up the next date, and you keep lather, rinsing, and repeating that. And then typically, if it keeps going well, sometime over the course of 6 to 12 weeks, a month and a half to 3 months, the woman will bring up the relationship, and then it's going to be her job to try and lock you down. So that's the way it works. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up, folks, because this is getting way too long. I want to thank you all for taking the time to view this video. Another video is coming to this channel soon. Please like, share, subscribe, bang the bell, select the notifications, and I'll catch you on the next one. Take care and have a great night's sleep. Goodbye.